Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ann New. I'm here with Matthew Floyd. Welcome to the show, Matt. I really do appreciate your time for coming on here. So we have a lot to discuss in regards to a few opponents that you have recently stated on Twitter that you would like to knock out and fight by the end of 2025. Most notably, the son of Julio Chavez Sr., Darren Till, and of course, Tommy Fury. Now, let's go back to the Twitter post that you made recently, which was 2 days ago. Tell me, out of the three opponents that you want to fight, who is it first that you want to go for?
Tommy.
Okay. Do you have a sort of what's the motivation for wanting to fight Fury? As some of the interviews I've seen, some of the articles that I've read, it's more been directed towards Tommy. I was wondering, I know that you did state that it's just fighting business. However, I'm wondering, is there any genuine beef there, or is it just fight business?
No, I just knew that a couple of years ago there was talk about fighting him. It didn't happen, and then there's been talk over the last 8 weeks about it, and I've always known it's going to happen. So.
Now, the promotion that you're going to be fighting under, hopefully, when it comes to fighting Tommy, is Misfits. And you're currently 15-0 with 10 knockouts and holding the WBC Asian Championship to your name. Am I right there?
Yeah, I've also got a UBO World title and the WBC Asian title and Australasian title.
Fantastic. Now, I was wondering, did you by any chance happen to watch Darren Till's performance against Anthony Taylor at Misfits?
Nah, but I heard he beat him up and knocked him out.
Okay. So Darren Till is a former title challenger within the UFC. You've expressed interest with fighting him. Do you want to get that fight perhaps maybe in the next few months and then move on to Tommy? Like how exactly are you planning on fighting all of these guys within the next few months?
It's been a roller coaster ride, man, over the last, especially over the last week. So 2 days ago, I thought I was fighting Darren. I got a phone call from a friend. He owns a gym in the UK. He's an old school bloke. He doesn't fuck around or talk shit. It's actually probably how it all started for me in the UK. Probably a couple months ago was through this guy, and he rang me up and he goes, Darren Till, I don't know if he had another opponent before the opponent he's got now, or what, but he said he wants to fight you, and he's like, what's the go with Fury in that? And I said, well, fuck, I don't really know. So if Darren Till wants to fight, I'll be on the plane there tomorrow. So he goes, I'll ring you back. This is 2 nights ago. He goes, I'll ring you back. And I said, cool, man. I was fucking overwhelmed. I was like, fucking fine. This is over. This roller coaster. I can start getting ready tomorrow and fucking leave. And then about an hour later or something, I got another phone call and I don't know, Misfits, I don't know who, someone had an issue or just they didn't want it or whatever. And then 5 minutes later, I seen another fight.
Oh shit! We're having some technical problems.
No, it's just my phone was ringing.
Okay, sorry.
And then 5 minutes later, can you see me now?
Yeah, I can still see you. Everything's fine.
And then 5 minutes later, then I sent a post of him fighting someone else. So yeah, fucking. There was that. Maybe it's because the Fury thing. Like we've obviously like. I think that I'm fighting him already, so maybe that's a good sign. Obviously, there's been talk about me and Fury fighting it's been all over the media for a few weeks now, and he hasn't said that he's not fighting, and he can't even get a coffee without his mates have told me he can't even get a coffee without getting asked about, is he fighting the Aussie bloke and this and that. So he would have responded by now if he wasn't fighting, but now it's getting a bit close as well. I think it's 6 weeks away, I was saying. So it looks like he's training every day. So they're very hard to communicate with. Like you don't get straight answers. So all I know is I'm getting ready for a fight on that date. So
I would like to ask because this was a very, very controversial move by Tommy, and everyone is still giving him shit to this day. So he was meant to actually be fighting Till instead of Taylor. However, during the build up to the fight between Till and Fury, Till stated, now, Till is a very well known shit talker within both the MMA world and, of course, boxing or whenever it comes to combat sports. He stated at the Misfits press conference that he would actually break the rules and head kick Tommy Fury, which is what he's known for in MMA. However, people kind of knew that Darren obviously was talking shit. Tommy pulled out of the fight because he actually believed that Till would be willing to break the rules if he was losing. So, what do you make of that in regards to Tommy pulling out because he took Darren's threat literally?
Oh well, if it was me, I would have fought no matter what. So like it doesn't matter if I was a billionaire or someone off the side of the road. I would have fought no matter what. So I think, yeah, you can't. Yeah, I don't agree with it one bit. He should have 100% fought. He should have fought the bloke right there and then, really. But and that's just me, bro.
Uh-huh. Now, in regards to another Fury, we're talking about John Fury. He seems to be very, very heated whenever it comes to these kind of press conferences. What do you make of the guy? Like, it seems that a lot of people are saying that Tommy needs John in order to be able to in order to be able to at least promote the fight. This is a question in regards to promotion. Do you think that's necessary, or do you think you kind of need to actually, you know what, take a step back and say, hey, Dad, listen, I kind of want to do this on my own. Like, tell me about promotion. And do you think that, in regards to going too far, how do you think going too far is? Like, what is too far for you?
I'll probably, if you know a bit more about my story and my history, I'm probably the wrong person to ask how far you'd go or what's too
Mhm.
far to me. I mean, I went to prison for kidnapping pedophiles, so um, I don't know, man. Asking me, look, I think John Fury is is like a great father. Like I would have done if I had a father like him. I would have been a world champion at 18. Um, he promotes his kids. He loves his children very clearly, and he does it
Mhm.
all for them. Like he does all that show. He sacrifices what he looks like and all that to give to make the most of them. He probably obviously enjoys it a bit too, but I think he's just a good father, and he's trying to like make the most out of his sons. Um, when I see that sort of stuff, I always envy that stuff because I wish I had that.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so one of the next opponents that you fancied and is on your hit list is Julio Chavez Jr., the son of Julio Chavez Sr. Tell me, in regards to Julio Chavez Jr., do you want this as a step up to potentially get bigger fights? Like, do you eventually
Yeah.
want to step in the ring and hopefully fight for a world title?
Yeah, I want to fight the best in the world. Absolutely, I wouldn't. That's the whole point. I'm actually my whole plan was to fight the best in the world, and Chavez popped up through this campaign. Someone made a fake poster out there of me and Chavez fighting, and it got like a lot of views. And then it was like the winner fights Jake Paul. Chavez must have seen it and followed me. I woke up one morning to Chavez following me, and I was like, "Fucking wow, Chavez is following me. That's pretty cool." And then I saw the poster. One of my mates sent it to me, so I messaged him about it. He's like, "Yeah, it's fucking." He said great or something. Like it looked cool. Like because I don't know how he's what the language barrier is like or what, but it's hard to text him. But then I asked him straight up like, "What you be keen on fighting?" So this just popped up like in the last week or two, and he said yes. And then I like sent another message to make sure like it was a yes, and he said yes. Like I made sure clear, yeah, you're happy to fight me. All right, I was like, sick, that's cool, man. So obviously, Fury's obviously known to pull out of his fight, so I've been looking at other fighters in case, like the Darren Till and Chavez now. So it was never 100% that like because Fury's notorious for pulling out of his last 5 fights or whatever. So I was always ready to fight Darren Till or even Chavez now on this next show, or hopefully Fury like it was supposed to be.
Mhm.
And that's sort of how the lineup came, bro. Like it came from Fury, really, like from the fight of Fury. Now it's Darren Till, and now it's Chavez as well.
Hmm. Now, in regards to the influencer scene, I was wondering, what do you make of the influencer? Like this came like a few years ago, and now we have a big set in Misfits promotions, and we have the likes of the Sutherland brothers and, of course, Mams Taylor working
Yeah.
on this. Tell me what's your take on it?
Well, the influencers that I'm fighting aren't really influencers. They're more boxers. Like Tommy Fury's a boxer. Um, I think Jake Paul's definitely become a boxer now. So I don't think that. I think that you're fighting proper boxers. And I'm not really like I haven't really said I want to fight influencers or anything like that. If the influencer was a great boxer, I'd fight him.
Hmm.
Or at least like a decent boxer with a good record and stuff like that. So the influencer side of things, I don't watch it. I never would watch it. Like I didn't watch the Tyson and Jake Paul fight. Um, but yeah, but I would watch someone like like I watch Fury and Jake Paul because I think they're both not bad boxers.
Hmm.
I think they're both. I think Jake obviously Fury's your token boy. He's had all the support. He's had a good dad. He's had he's had perfect everything. So he should be at the very least a top 50 fighter with all that stuff. Jake Paul sort of, he started as an adult. He's had millions of dollars. If you put millions of dollars into any above average athlete or more, and all they do is train for 6 or 7 years, and they've got the best diet, the best this, the best that in the world, they should become a top 50, 100 fighter. I mean, people will start boxing at 13, 14, they become world champions at 20. So if you're 22, 28, it's the same. If you've got that mentality, he's obviously, from what I've seen, obviously I don't know the bloke, but from what he shows you, he looks like he's got that mentality.
Hmm.
And Fury clearly doesn't have that mentality. So I think Fury will only ever stay where he's at, which is, he might become a top 100 boxer or something. But I think Jake Paul probably, if that mentality is real, has the capability of, doing anything really.
So you're saying that Tommy Fury will more than likely just be down at the influencer side, and Jake Paul will eventually be fighting for a world title soon?
Well, it depends. Like Tommy Fury hasn't shown that he's really got the heart of a fighter or a boxer, especially if he doesn't fight me now. He's called out. He said that he doesn't want to be known as a Love Island star. He wants to be known as a legitimate boxer. He reckons he's been on Love Island one time. He's had 10 professional fights. So he made that real clear that his next fight has to be a legitimate boxer. I'm the most legitimate boxer that's offered him out now. Everyone around at least the UK knows that I'm that legitimate boxer that offered him out. So if he doesn't fight me, he's got to retire, really.
Hmm.
He said I was his next fight, like he said the next fight would be a legitimate boxer. I'm that legitimate boxer with a legitimate story on top of it. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. The rest of I was answering it, like whatever the last, but then I forgot what it was now.
Oh no, no, it's a problem, no problem. So I do want to just go off on records a little bit. This is in regards to just regular boxing. Do you think that I actually asked this to fighters? I believe I did ask this in my last interview. Into records. Do you think building records like with people that they aren't the greatest opposition or is good because we've seen the likes of Jake Paul. His records, it's questionable, but do you think that with excusing the records, when he does put on solid performances, how do you think that all fits in?
Um, he hasn't really except for Fury, and I think he did all right against Fury at that level. I think if he does a few more years, I think the next time they fought, he'd beat him. If Fury had the same heart, you can't really grow a heart. You've either got it or you haven't. So I'm pretty sure he's fucked there. And Jake, if he's been training, relentlessly with all this money again every day since, he'd probably win. So I don't think I don't know. It's a hard one. I think Jake's definitely. I think they're both better than what the world, say. And yeah. So, um, yeah, I'm not really sure, man. I don't think Jake's really fought a boxer, but except for Tommy. So Tommy, we don't really know how much heart of a boxer he's got. So it's a hard one until you probably answer a few questions when Tommy fights someone like me.
Mhm. Um, so my next question is in regards to working with Misfits. into getting these fights? Do you want to fight Tommy, Darren, and Julio Chavez Jr. under the Misfits banner, or are you of course looking out for other promotions to do it as well?
Nah, I don't care, man. I'll fight them in in some random gym in Mexico in someone's backyard or at the beach,
Mhm.
at front of Nando's. Doesn't matter, bro. At Misfits. Whoever lets me, chuck on the gloves and get in the ring with them, bro, I'll be honest to do it
Mhm.
anyway.
So you have the mentality that you want to fight them. Doesn't matter where, when, or what time. You'd be more than willing to just hop in a ring and just batter them. That's what I'm getting from.
Absolutely, yeah. All three of them the same night if they want.
I,
I'm
I,
not.
I
I'm not
absolutely.
joking. I don't. If they
Oh
said it, I'll
no!
do it.
Oh no! Sorry. I just love that idea. Like to have three fights in one night. That would be absolutely
I mean three 10 round fights too, not three and a half round fights or something like
Jesus. Jeez, like
that.
you see, like that's something that I respect and something that I admire. If it's something that you've got the mentality and the mind for, who fucking knows what you can pull off? So,
Well,
listen.
I pulled this off out of nowhere, man. I trained myself in a prison cell, and I look what I've done. I'm trying to show all men, um, that if they've got mental health or where they've come from, it doesn't matter that this can be done. I'm the poster child for that. The Furies talk a lot about mental health. Tyson's obviously done a lot for mental health, and he's a advocate for it. I think this fight's not just about Fury fighting a legitimate boxer. It's also a big fight for mental health from my side, man's mental health.
Mhm. Um, is there any possibility within the next few years that since we're uh, that you'd actually transition into a different sport? Maybe perhaps the likes of Bare Knuckle FC, that is certainly making numbers right now. And there is also other MMA promotions that are growing, like the PFL, and obviously Bellator has been converted over to the PFL, no longer doing shows with Bellator. Is there any point, like say if you managed to beat Tommy, Darren, and of course Chavez, and when you've got all that notoriety, you've got that momentum on your shoulders, would you be willing to maybe try the likes of Bare Knuckle FC or perhaps maybe fighting in MMA?
If I beat all three of them, obviously I'd still be unbeaten, and I'd want to conquer the boxing world first.
Hmm.
I'd want to fight, like Canelo for, or something like that. I want to beat the best in the world in boxing. I wouldn't stop. If I, if I certainly if I beat them three, I wouldn't stop boxing. No, I'd want to become, the best. But then after that, I mean, bare knuckled. Everyone that knows me reckons that's always probably been the best thing for me. But I went, I'm boxing now. Bare knuckle would have been great. But yeah, I would after boxing's finished. And yeah, absolutely, man. MMA, bare knuckled, whatever. I'm up for anything.
Yeah, that's perfect. This actually relates to it because there is a certain promotion that's going around known as the GFL. Now, a lot of people are, saying that maybe it's not the best thing for MMA, because of their promotion and how they're looking at it, because of with AI and pretty much a lot of old fighters retired. Of course, there are a lot of notable MMA promotions, like one here for Ireland and for the UK known as Cage Warriors. And again, that'd be great. I think honestly, either PFL, GFL, maybe that would actually be great promotion for you because you certainly do seem to have the mentality that you can fight. It doesn't matter if it is just boxing. I think it would be great to see you maybe try something other than boxing and see what your mindset would be in regards to the MMA world. Now, in regards to Tommy Fury, again, when the smoke is all settled and it's done, are you willing to shake Tommy Fury's hand at the end of the fight? Take him out for dinner, a pint? Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I think yeah, absolutely, man. I'm humble, and I respect anyone that shows me respect. After the fight, obviously. I mean, I think I've become mates with every single person I've fought, except maybe one or two, to date. So, absolutely, man.
Now, to Darren Till, who managed to get Tommy Fury to pull out of the fight. When it comes to that kind of situation, do you think that there's a lack of mental preparation, because if Tommy pulled out of the fight due to Darren's threats, which obviously were not serious, again, I'd like to go back to like what would be your take on, like, do you think Tommy is perhaps the kind of guy to dish out as much, as possible, but he can't take it?
I think he's, from what I understand from even his friends and that, he's a bit of a princess.
Mhm.
And I was told to be very careful and be as humble as I could. I'd probably lose the fight. So, not lose the fight in the ring as I wouldn't get the fight. So, I was just told to be humble, which I am anyway. But I'm honest as well, so I'll answer it honestly. And from what I understand, he's a bit of a princess. And yeah, I would never pull out of a fight myself. The Furies have obviously a very big, strong name, and Gypsies never back down from a fight.
Mhm.
So it's very yeah. To me, I can't understand it. Like I would never be able to do it myself. So I can't really answer it. Here, only one person that can answer it's probably him. So
Okay.
maybe other reasons you would hope.
Mhm. Now we do have another influencer who is making rounds on social media for a lot of the wrong reasons. He's known as Dean the Great. He's calling out professional fighters, with himself being an influencer. Can I get your take on that? Influencers that fight other influencers but yet call out professional boxers, please.
So you're saying he's an influencer calling out boxers?
Yeah, but
Um,
he's fighting influencers. He's not fighting, the pros.
I've never heard of this guy to start off with. And second, so an influencer is calling out boxers, or a boxer's calling out influencers?
Influencers calling out boxers.
Oh, I guess that's not bad. Like an influencer calling out someone that's supposed to be a better fighter than you isn't as bad as a boxer calling out an influencer. So, I mean, it's pretty like it's like a waste of the time, I guess. But like people call. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
so
maybe,
sorry, Jesus, my fucking
yeah,
mind went there. So a lot of
yeah.
people have had this opinion for years that influencers is probably one of the biggest waste of times for the sport of traditional boxing, because they mainly think that it's just ego and money. However, as a professional boxer yourself, how do you see influencers? Do you think that it's actually good for the sport of boxing, or do you think it's a waste of time?
I think they've done a lot of. I think Jake and all that have done a lot of good for the boxing. They made boxing like huge again. Um, it's good and it's bad, I guess. But I'm not really a jealous sort of person. But I always look at people, and if they're doing well, I think good on them. And I wonder how. I want to know. I want to learn from them, and things like that. It's like the Tyson thing. People are like, oh, he ruined his legacy. This, that. No, he didn't, man. He's what 6 years old. Um, he made like the big, more money than he's ever made in his life, and he wants to leave all that with his children. So it's a smart decision. I would have done the same thing if I'm a 6-year-old man. It wouldn't bother me if I got knocked out, but if I'm 60 and all my grandchildren have $500 million, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter, does it? So I think good on him. I think good on him for being able to make so much money, and that's what it was smart of him, I guess. I don't ever get jealous of people for doing well. I always think if they can do well in whatever it is, good on them. Unless it's like badness, you know what I mean? Badness is in like hurting innocent people or something like that.
Mhm. So, besides the Mike Tyson fight, which is considered a hiccup, I would say, and also the Tommy Fury loss, so you think that Jake Paul actually has the potential to do great things in the sport, from transitioning into an
It,
influencer to becoming a world champion?
Absolutely, man. Anyone can do it if like, I mean, I believe if I had money and when I was younger and a father or someone saying it behind me, pushing me and giving me everything, like I said, I would have been a world champion at a very young age. Um, Absolutely, man. Anyone can with that mindset.
Mhm.
Anything can be done. Any man can do anything. Absolutely,
Mhm.
with a strong mind, they can overcome anything. So if he shows all that, he does all the meditation and the ice baths and the breathing, and he shows the world that if all that's true and he has got that mentality, which it looks like it, then he's absolutely capable of anything. Then.
Okay, so the next thing is the roadmap for the three fights that you have. Give me, say, a few potential dates or months on when you'd like to fight Tommy Fury, Chavez Jr., and of course Darren Till in no particular order. Because I know that you did say that by the end of 2025, you want to be the guy that knocked out Tommy Fury, gave him his first professional loss, and also Darren Till his first loss in the boxing scene, and of course had another loss to Chavez Jr. So give me a bit of a roadmap on when you'd like for this to take place.
So I'll go Fury first,
Mm-hmm.
Till second, because I think the UK will love to watch that fight because I think it'll be a bit of a smash. I'll beat him each round, but I think it will still be a nice smash.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chavez last because he'll be my stepping stone to someone like Canelo or the best in the world.
Mm-hmm. So, and I'm assuming that for the fights that are going to be going down, you're not wanting to win by a point. You're wanting to win by knockouts, pretty much.
Yeah, I think I'll knock them all out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have to say, Matt, I really do actually, I do appreciate your mindset, and I do appreciate what you've been, doing. That you just said to me that ever since you got out of prison for men's mental health, I think that's very admirable. So I'll definitely, for one, I'll definitely be tuning into these fights. Now, would you be so you have 6 weeks until Misfits 21? Have you possibly been spoken to about fighting someone else? Has Misfits given you some other opponent ideas, or what's the story there? Are you competing in Misfits 21 is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, as far as I understand, I am. There's a lot of people involved. In my past, I've been fighting. I've done it on my own and that, and it's like, yep, you're fighting this guy. Next day on the plane, it's a lot easier. These things are fucking. These big things are a lot more of a headache, bro. Like, it's been the worst experience of my life. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said a couple of days ago, I got offered Darren Till, and I took it straight away. My first thing was what's going on with Tommy, and then obviously because they didn't know, it's like, well, do you want Darren or not? And I was like, yeah, but obviously not from the Misfits people, from whoever was looking after Darren Till. So Darren Till's said to them, look, Matty Floyd, I want to fight him. He wants to fight me. And then they've, for whatever reason, said no. It could be because they don't want me on the show. It could be because I was in prison. It could be because of Tommy Fury. No one's giving me straight answers. It's just so much bullshit in between.
Mm-hmm.
I've got like a pretty. He's a very high up person. He knows them all. Like he knows Eddie and all these Misfits people. So I can't see them mucking us around. But it's hard when you're at this level. The communication's real. You don't know what's really going on so much. So.
Mm-hmm. Now,
But yeah, as far as I understand, I'm fighting on the next show. That's what I've been told. I've been told to keep training and get ready. So that's what I'm doing.
yeah, well, it's actually also had been confirmed that Darren Till is fighting ex-UFC fighter Darren Stewart. So, unfortunately, you won't be fighting Till as of right now.
You never know, man. A lot will happen between now and then. Also, yeah, it's real frustrating because I think what happened was he wanted to fight me first, and then that's the guy. From what I've been told, but I haven't spoke to Darren Till directly or the Misfits people. So, but the
Okay.
person that did tell me is a sound guy. Like there's no line in this bloke, man. He's as straight as it gets, and
Mhm.
he's well respected over there too.
Now, going back to the influencers versus boxers, in a sense, do you think that maybe that some influencer boxers need that kind of that reality check to understand that boxing is a very serious sport, that it's not something that you can play around with? Do you think maybe it's actually good for influencers to take up boxers?
I think influencers know because it's not like they just jump in the ring and fight straight away. They'll be going down to the gym and training. No one would do that. They'll be going and training and sparring and things like that. So I think they learn, pretty early, and they have like a camp and this and that. Um, a boxer teaching an influencer a lesson that would probably happen at the gym
Mhm.
in sparring or something like you would have thought. It happened to me when I was 16 years old. So I was that kid, in the movies when that kid, thinks I got into heaps of street fights growing up the way I did. I grew up on the streets and that, and I thought I was mad because I got in over 500 fights or something and thought I could beat anyone in a fight. And then
Mhm.
I got taken to a gym by older kids and older people. Sorry, man. and I got beat up by a man, a proper fighter. And and that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me at the time. I didn't sleep that night. I went back to the gym the next day and fucking trained every day. So I think it might be the same thing maybe when you beat up an influencer. It's like you're beating up that 16-year-old kid maybe. I don't know. If that's the case, then it is a good thing, yes, because it was good for me. So who knows?
All right, well, Matthew, we're running out of time here for the meeting for Zoom. But listen, I want to thank you very much for giving me your time to come onto
Thank
my
you.
show and, of course, talk to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Anu. I'm Pearse Fitzpatrick. This is all over now. Thank you very much for tuning in, and goodbye.
Thank you, bro.